How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Lawbeck Luxury Cars Friday Drive. Now, the weather is appalling, so I came down to Lawbeck's just to have a bit of a walk around and see what we might be able to find. So let's go take a walk and let's find something. And as I was having a go, looking around, I came across some amazing American muscle cars, and this Shelby Mustang GT500 as the first car we're going to preview is an absolute beauty. Now this thing, other than its incredibly iconic look, has a 7-litre V8 in it. 7 litres, an absolute powerhouse of the muscle car industry. The GT500 is synonymous with being an absolute brute of a car, and I mean, it's so pretty. The green on this is amazing, and you know, for me, with Brabham, I've got a bit of a green theme going on. My helmet cars are green. I love it. I think it looks absolutely amazing with the white stripes up the front, this sort of iconic front end here with the lights just in the middle. It just gives that real sort of tough, mean look across the front with the guard here, and I just love this thing. One thing I absolutely love, and the side profile of this is so pretty, but these big, hard sidewall tires are massive in comparison to what we typically have today, but they're so amazing. They look so tough on these muscle cars. And then you've got this beautiful Shelby GT500 Cobra there, and then that sort of white stripe just across the side profile is really amazing. I love these little air vents here too, just to funnel it in. I mean, they probably don't even do a huge amount for this thing, but they just make it look so awesome. Another little thing is this sort of long sloping back, and then just this kick up of the wing here on the boot is just so amazing. Like just the profile of it as it sweeps upwards, and then that iconic sort of really rectangular rear end on the car with the big brake lights on the back and the indicators, and then that nice large signal there for the Shelby Cobra at the back. Now, I wish I could start it up, but I'm not going to for the moment. I have to persuade Shreko to let me do a Friday drive in it. But even just like the sound of the door closing, it's just so, I love that old school feel. You remember the old Porsche that I drove? Those little things like this big round sort of wooden wheel for this massive 7-litre V8 muscle car just seems so silly, but it's so awesome at the same time. Big circular speedos and the RPMs and the little temperature dials are just awesome. The old school radio system just to toggle it all in, and then this, it's so different to what we have now, but it's so awesome. 4-speed V8, like it's really, really amazing. The leather seats, I think these things are so cool, and they're such an iconic vehicle, and once you put your foot down there, it's so fast too. I'm walking around trying to find something else, and I've spotted a couple over here that fit with our theme for today. Now, this one here is the 66 car, so only a year different to the GT500, but this is the Stingray styling. Still a 7-litre V8, but you've got the big muscle car. This one's a little bit more light and nimble, and I love this iconic little drop top up here. Here in the window, I don't have to worry about that anymore, but it's such a pretty little car. The fold-up headlights at the front, which is just so awesome. I love the fact they just pop up and then they're stationary up there, and then that sort of iconic sort of silver barring here with the little accents all the way down the middle there as well. I love these things. You've got this iconic little circular wing mirror here, and then same again, this big wooden steering wheel for such a powerful car, I think is really fun. You can see the changes a little bit in the gear lever there. It's a bit more straight up rather than up and back, which is sort of very classic in those big muscle cars, whereas this thing, so much more light and nimble in the way that it's driven as well, but even for a really powerful car. And then we move to the back here. I mean, you've got this sort of classic Corvette Stingray on the back here, and that big circular piece just in there, and we can even put the aerial up if we need to as well. So we're going to come forward in time a little bit. It's 1990 with the Corvette Callaway, as you can see in the blue on the side. Now, this yellow is iconic for Corvette. It reminds me of going to the Le Mans 24 Hours, watching my dad race, and as he was racing for Aston Martin up against those iconic yellow Corvettes, or in the States, or wherever it might be around the world, that yellow there is exactly what Corvette means. And even the styling of it, big muscle car, you've got sort of the Targa top on the top there as well, but sort of this sloping side, again, the pop-up headlights, the vents at the front for the engine bay as we come around here. Slightly, you can see the difference here in time, really with the tires. You've got the big tires on the older generation muscle cars, whereas these, I wouldn't say low profile in comparison to what we have today, but you can still see the changes in that sort of 90s big bulky wheel spokes as well. Is really, really awesome. I love the Targa top. Keeps you a bit more secluded in the car comparison to the Stingray that we saw before. You can also see in the back perspex window here of where the actual roof comes out onto the top here as well, if you did want to be enclosed. And they're pretty seamless. You don't really notice that it's a Targa top until it's off. You got these, I just noticed this, the yellow for the seat belt there to go with the car. And as we come back across, American muscle cars, they all have this little lip, and even here it's only subtle, but it's still there, just much like it was on the Shelby over there. And that's big square backing of the car with the big exhaust pipes on right at the bottom, and then these sort of square rounded tail lights as well. It all makes sense when you look at it. It just reminds you of the US, and that's what I love about them. They're so unapologetically the way they are, and I think that's awesome. Now I'm going to hop in this thing, and there's a good reason for it. So also a manual, and you can, just sitting in immediately, you can tell the difference in the generations of car. Everything in the Stingray and the Shelby are so analog, and everything is so, there's no buttons, now we're looking in here, the windscreen wipers twist. You've got such an array of buttons here to do all sorts of stuff that we're so accustomed to today in the other cars you didn't have, and it shows the shift in technology that was starting to being used. And then even the little things like these, you've got sport mode, performance mode, which I think is really, really awesome, and it's something we're so used to today, but just even like the analog, like the way you twist it is really, really awesome. And the driver's seat, the way that works it's different, but it's so cool. This is going to wrap up another episode of our Friday drives. We've sort of showcased 3 amazing sort of classic American muscle cars. Now there's one here that I think is the coolest of the lot. It compares to me personally with the Shelby over there, this AC Cobra. Now we're going to wrap up the video here, so make sure you like and subscribe to our content, follow us on Instagram, and stay up to date with everything Lorbeck Luxury Cars. I'm going to go and convince Shreko to let me have a steer in this for another Friday drive.